Yes, of course, we do appreciate the fact that you're still there, knowing for a fact that you are the reason we are here. So if you've just tuned in, you're most welcome. Helen and I will take a snappy look at some happenings within the week. And of course, we'll get the excitement of the day.
I can't wait.
Helen, you want to know what happened during the week?
Yes, we should.
It rained cats and dogs.
Everywhere.
Yes, I don't know where it caught you.
It's not even in Lagos alone. When I talk to people back home in Benue, raining cats and dogs.
Oh, you're from Benue?
In Plateau State, yes, I'm Idoma. Proudly so.
Yeah, it rained
No, the rains have just...
It was bad.
Yeah.
And I really don't know what is happening. Yes, Lagos is on this sea level, whatever. And we should expect now and again floods.
Yeah.
But there still is something we're not getting right.
What's that?
I think our drainage system still needs to be more regularly worked on.
I think about...
And our habits have to change.
Yeah, that will take a long time. We're Nigerians, guy. We are. But I think about a month and a half ago, the Ministry of Environment, was seriously doing something in view of the rainy seasons and the, yearly flooding
I'm not
of
sure
the
that's
time.
worked.
But you can't say that yet because they really can't cover Lagos at once.
I think I can say something.
So they are covering
because yesterday, my car was almost Ikorodu Road.
In Ikeja, I saw people park and scooping water out of their cars.
It was really bad.
I know.
It was really bad.
I know.
However.
And the rains haven't really come really. Also, happily, more captives from the kidnappers' den, the Abuja-bound train, more of them were released, especially women and children, within the week.
Yes.
And I said happily. Now, sadly, ASU is still on strike, and we have no idea what the Senate is doing, what the federal government is doing to get our children back to school.
Well, we will always remain a pressure point, and we really have to get things right. Hook or crook, like they say. Okay? But let's go to the excitement for
Hook or crook.
Excitement for the day.
All right.
All right.
Okay, so there it is. We keep praying and working and encouraging ourselves, believing that there must be light at the end of a tunnel. So let's keep hope alive, Nigerians. Let's keep hope alive. John?
Yeah. Moving on, it's time to meet our celebratory guest, a Nigerian with many parts and an unusual dream and passion. Yes. Our guest is a prolific public speaker and an accomplished author, the first Nigerian to fly the nation's flag at the highest peak in Africa, the Uhuru Peak, Mount Kilimanjaro.
He's a Rotarian.
Yes.
And John is grinning from ear to ear. He's a Rotarian with a big heart. And he also loves adventure. His hobbies include reading, swimming, cycling, and mountain climbing. Yeah. He has skydived, bungee jumped. I'm seeing that word for the first time, and cycled Lagos, Ghana, and Lagos. Back to Lagos he did. He holds an MBA degree, currently studying for his PhD in business administration at the University of Arizona, USA.
Yeah, and indeed, we are proud to have with us a Nigerian who has traveled and visited over 70 countries around the world. He's the chief operating officer, Pelicans, DNO Venture Capital, Rotary Kunle Adeyanju. He's just returned from a trip, London to Lagos, through the Sahara Desert, riding all the way on his bike. At last, we get a share of that wow experience this morning. Thanks a million times for joining us today.
Thank you.
Kunle, you're welcome.
Thank you so much.
It's good to see you.
When I was going through your CV, loads of awards that we couldn't take in. Hope you don't mind. Loads of them.
And the awards keep coming.
Yeah.
Even titles keep coming. He just got back from his home state, Kwara State, or far to be precise. And he just got another traditional title. So, Kunle, you're welcome.
Which one was that?
Chief Ani Kayo of
What does it mean?
Basically means the guy that brought so much glory, to the hometown. Not only to my hometown, to Nigeria.
To Nigeria,
Africa, basically.
yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're welcome, Kunle.
Thank you.
It's good to see you.
Thanks.
Sometimes I'm sure you pinch yourself and you say, hey, how did I do it? Wow. 13,000 kilometers from London to Lagos.
Yes.
Over a period of
41 days.
41 days on a motorbike.
Yes.
And
But
that's
actually,
it.
14 days riding days.
Okay.
14 days actual riding days, but 41 days in total because of all the other meet and greet activities like going to UN, going to the field with the Polio Plus volunteer to immunize the children,
Okay.
and going to World Health Organization. So it's extended,
Yes,
the
those
number
are
of
all
days.
same things, but let me ask you. Let me ask you.
About the unsane one.
Let me ask you about the state of your mind. Sometimes don't you think you're crazy?
Well, you see, I hear that a lot. People call me the crazy biker. So it's okay. I'm used to being called crazy, but, sometimes for me, it's, I have that passion, something I want to do. Even if the whole world is going left, if I believe it's right, it's okay.
Right. I have passion too. But what really prompted you to embark on this daredevil journey to ride a motorbike from London
To Nigeria.
to Lagos? What got into your head?
Okay, I'm going to tell you, but don't call me crazy because it sounds a bit crazy too. Okay, this was in 2019, right? I rode a bicycle from Lagos to Ghana and back. So before doing that bicycle ride, I was asking, I need something can stretch me. What's my breaking point?
No, tell me, bicycle, the same bike.
No, bicycle.
The regular bicycle.
The regular bicycle. Wow. So it took me 3 days going to Ghana, then 3 days back. So before doing it, I asked myself, what can break me? Okay, yeah, this riding a bicycle to Ghana is a big challenge. Maybe it's going to break me. Maybe I'll discover my limit. I did it. Yes, after getting back to Lagos for 2 weeks, I couldn't sit down because of saddle sore, but it didn't break me. Then when I finished it, I said, okay, let me think of another bigger thing that it's more daring, more tougher than that. Then I said, yes, why not London to Lagos on a motorbike? So in 2019, it went into my bucket list. Then, I started thinking, okay, when am I going to do this? When am I going to do this? Then 2021, I made up my mind I was doing it. 2022, then I started planning. So it took me a year to build the plan. Actually, one thing I do is I have this bucket list and all this crazy adventure in it.
Crazy, you admit that they're crazy.
Yes, I admit. But crazy people change the world,
Yeah.
They said Elon Musk was crazy. Bill Gates was crazy. Steve Jobs, it's okay to be crazy.
So it's good to be crazy.
It's good.
In the good way.
In the good way, yes.
Yeah. Okay, and then here we are sharing, the excitement with you. A dream that you sat somewhere in the corner of your house, perhaps, and dreamed it up. And here, it's become the reality of a lot of people, of Lagos, of Nigeria, of the world. So once again, congratulations. We hear that this is not the first eye-popping adventure you have undertaken.
Yes.
Apart from Ghana, any other thing you'd like to share?
Yeah, I've climbed Kunle twice. I did Kunle in 2008 and
That's
2009.
Mount Kilimanjaro.
Yeah, Mount Kilimanjaro, sorry.
The Mount Kilimanjaro or a replica?
No, the real Mount Kilimanjaro in Tanzania.
Wow.
So I did that. I did it twice, 2008 and 2009. And I did that actually to raise funds for HIV/AIDS orphans in Africa. So I tied it to a charity. And that's actually when I took the Rotary banner actually to the highest peak in Africa too. So I took the Nigerian flag and also the Rotary banner there. Then I've done skydiving, jumping out of the aircraft. I've done bungee jumping, tie a rope around your leg, then you go head down into a cliff, stuff like that. So I've done a couple of all those things. I've done jet skiing on the Indian Ocean. Yeah, you can do jet ski on maybe a river around. It's okay if you get knocked off or something happens. You're in a river, you can always find yourself out. But on the ocean, it's a totally different ball game. So I did it 2 hours into the Indian Ocean and back.
Do you have friends who share the same passion? I can't imagine that you will have friends who
Well, I have very, very few. Actually,
they have to be
extremely few who share this. But, one thing I discovered, a lot of people like the video when I finish. Yeah, can I see that?
Now this is a family show. And from the female or woman's point of view, I'm thinking, if this were my better half or my brother, you know, uncle, cousin, and maybe my daddy, what's the whole front saying about this?
Okay, well, you see, my children, they know the kind of person I am. I've gone with them also on a couple of, some of these adventures, you know, some climbing some little mountains, you know, because of their age. And they know one thing is I like to plan. They know I like to take risks, but I don't take stupid risks. I take calculated risk. So when I look at all those things I want to do, I keep asking myself, what are the failure points here? Then I try to see how I can mitigate those failure points to prevent the threat from being released to me, right? So I spent, okay, like I was saying, this ride took me a year. Yeah. You can imagine putting 3 hours every day into building this plan for 1 year. So it took a lot of, you know, I kept asking myself, what are the failure points? What have I missed? What have I missed? You know, when I was sure that my plan was okay, then I was ready to go. So the same thing I do, my children, you know, when I told them, they said, okay, it's all right, go for it, but make sure you come back. And I'm back.
Well, you see, one thing that's constant in this particular trip is that you hoisted not only the Nigerian flag, but also the Rotary flag. Tell us what's... Yes, I'm a Rotarian, I know. Or I think I do. Right, but could you just tell us what's the link between...
Yeah, you see, first, I'm a Nigerian before being a Rotarian.
Yes.
So, and I said, I know there's been a lot of negative stories about Nigeria out there. But the point is, the media are just projecting the negative images, but not even the good thing that is coming out of Nigeria. And I said to myself, I'm going to design this flag. The first thing on that flag will be the Nigerian flag, so that the whole world can know. Good things also, good news also comes out of Nigeria, and even more good news than the negative news. Yeah. Then the second part is to put the Polio Plus flag there. And why did I put the Polio Plus flag there? Because polio for me was a personal fight. Yes. You know, it's a personal thing, and a personal thing because growing up as a boy, my best friend then, when we were in primary school, had polio. And I still remember back, you know, like those days when we were in primary school, I would do all those things that kids normally do, you know, playing football, jumping up and down, running, swimming. He couldn't do them, not because he didn't want to, but because he was limited by polio. So sadly, 2 years ago, we lost him. I won't say he died as a result of polio. No, he didn't. Polio didn't kill him. But polio really, really limited his potential of, you know, becoming what he would have wanted to be in life. Because, okay, as a person, I jog 10 kilometers every morning. Right, that's a lifestyle for me. I jog 5 to 6, then I spend the next 1 hour.
Do you sleep at all?
Yes, I do.
You do? Oh, that's really surprising to me.
No, for the kind of lifestyle you have chosen, you need to be fit.
Correct.
Yes, you really need to be fit, mentally, physically. You know,
that's it.
Right there. Okay, so John asked, you know, how do you tie this to the Rotary assignment? We hear that in a few weeks, you will assume office as president of your Rotary Club. That's the Rotary Club of Ikoyi Metro.
Yes.
That's some advertisement, John, you will pay. So, would it be right for us to assume that this adventure is one of your key projects as you plan to take?
Not one of my key projects, but is it an instrumental to me achieving those things that I've desired to do to impact the community? The answer is yes. Okay. Because if you look at the idea really is just not to raise funds for polio and also for those community initiatives I want to do to help give back to the community, but also to educate people, you know, so that we don't become complacent about polio. Because a lot of people think because Nigeria was certified polio-free, Africa became polio-free, that polio is no longer here. The fact is, the virus is still very much with us. But the only point is, it's not getting manifested in the children because of the vaccination we've given the children. So if we stop and we become complacent, you know, all the good work everybody done will go down the drain. So I use this as a two-pronged approach, you know, like raise funds, then also communicate, you know, the danger of being complacent about polio. So the fund we're going to be, I'm raising, that I've raised so far, I'm still raising, 20% of it is going to just polio plus support, while the other 80% is going into all those community development initiatives which I plan to do in my year as president of Rotary Club Ikoyi Metro.
Okay, so before Helen issues us with an invoice, let's go back. Let's even go. I'm trying to unpack the lion heart, right? And maybe we have some other people.
Why is that lion heart in the first place?
Yeah, because it's...
How did that name come
I
about?
think it's even
Actually,
another...
The name came when I was 10. You know, the nickname.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I started calling me lion heart at 10. And it came from my granny.
She had seen into the future.
Yeah, when I was 10, I have not, like we live in Kano then. I was in Kano with my parents, and I've not been to my hometown. That was my first time of actually going to my hometown. So granny has always been asking, bring this boy, let's see him, So finally, they took us home for holiday. I was 10 then. And granny that has been so keen about seeing us. After 3 days with granny, she was getting tired.
When are you guys going back?
You were probably climbing over all the chairs.
Then I was just, they said I was very troublesome then. Then what happened is they said one day, and she said it in Yoruba, she said, I think I did something. They said I did something tough again, maybe I caused some trouble. And she said in Yoruba that, which means that, why is your heart so hard like that of a lion? So since then they started calling me lion heart.
Excellent.
Okay, because where I'm going to, really, like I said, I'm trying to unpack this lion heart thing. And I'm sure we have a lot of other people out there. Maybe John Senaya has a lion heart hidden somewhere. But what does it take, to identify that you have something in you, your passion, and then run with it and get to... I don't know, my own lion heart, yes, I can ride a bicycle from here to Ozumba and Badi, but I'm not sure I can do beyond that.
Okay. You see, if you look at it this way, maybe just taking a little bit step backwards. If you look at how God created every one of us, we're all created. Well, I believe God created us. Some people don't, but it's okay if they believe whatever they like.
Yeah.
I believe God created me, and the same way He created everyone. He made us as a natural explorer. Because if you ask this way, look at when we were kids. We like to break things, go everywhere, try this, try that. That's an adventurous spirit. But what happens is as we grow, we lose them. Some people don't lose theirs, but most people lose theirs.
Yes.
And if you look at this guy, Neil deGrasse Tyson, he said something. He said, who is a scientist? A scientist is an adult who never lost his childhood curiosity. And that's why you see great scientists, they are people who want to try this, try that, and they come out with discoveries because they never lose the curiosity.
Never give up.
If you look at the way the world is, look at Nigeria, even look at, I hear Ellen say she's from Benue. Look at culture of Benue. Look at the culture of the Lagos people or the Yoruba people or the Hausa. We have so much diversity, even in Nigeria. So why did God put it there? God put so much diversity so that we can explore. And that's how we are called. We are naturally born adventurer.
Okay. All right, I sit down here with you, and I'm trying to wrap it all in my head. That's yes, willpower. Yes, dream. Yes, passion. Probably also a lot of finance, goes with this. Like John asked, what does it take to get someone to run with it? But tell us how you were able to merge this passion. Was there any time at all that you said to yourself, no, Kunle, don't go there. This is almost not doable. Was there a time as a human being, the mood change and the apprehensions and all of that?
Actually, just to answer that last question you asked, for me, I really don't believe anything is impossible. I have this, this positive can-do spirit, this attitude that I can do it. Like, okay, let me give you an example. If I try to do something and I fail, you know what I ask myself? I always say two things. It's either I have not struggled enough or I've struggled the wrong way. I don't say it's because, it's not meant to be. I don't believe that. So I always look at it that it is me who has not done enough. Or maybe now if I want to go from here to maybe, I just say Adeyanju, there are 1,001 ways to go. Sure. I can just hit the road straight here, or somebody can go through 1,004 and still take that road back.
Yes.
So I believe that if I miss something in life, it's because I've not struggled enough. I've gone the wrong way. And maybe the person who went the right way got there before me and took it. You know, they say good things comes to those who wait, but only those things left by those who don't wait. So that's my philosophy about life. And because I have that philosophy about life, you know, that always helped me to look inwards to say, okay, if you are going to do this, then you need to be really prepared. Financing is also part of it. Doing this London to Lagos cost me a lot of money, but also it's part of the planning process. Yes, I didn't take 10 kobo from anybody, and I didn't want it that way. It's my lifestyle. I should be able to fund my lifestyle. I shouldn't, look for somebody else to help me fund my lifestyle. So that's the kind of life I built for myself. And that's why I'm living that kind of life. So it takes a lot of willpower. It takes a lot of sacrifice of a lot of things. Some people could say, oh, this is how they spend their money. It's okay for them. But I want to do mine this way because that's what gives me joy. That's what makes me me. You know?
Yeah, but I mean, okay, now let's imagine that, yeah, your can-do spirit is there, everything in place, and then you embark on the journey, and then something happens. Like what happened, the sandstorm in the Sahara? Tell us about that. Wouldn't that have put you off and said, no, I'm going back home?
No, it didn't. It was tough, right? Yes, it was tough. It was hard. I actually cried, you know.
You did?
I did cry.
The lion heart cried.
Yeah. You know, it's okay to cry. You know, great men cry, but what is not okay is to give up.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, because, you know, that sandstorm, I had 2 major sandstorms and a minor one on the Sahara. And the major one that actually brought me tears to my eyes was, it lasted about an hour, 40 minutes. And you can imagine, like the sandstorm, the force of the gale was so high, so harsh, that it was lifting me off. I weighed 95 kilos. It was lifting me. I was like floating. I had to hold on to the bike. Then when I held on to the bike, I had to lay the bike down. Then, you know, bury myself close to the bike. And, you know, my weight and the bike became one. The bike weighs 190 kilos, plus me 95, so we're almost 300. So I held on that way so the storm couldn't take us. Right. So the storm was there, you know, with the... You know, the sand is brittle. It's like 1,000 needles hitting you, you know, that way. It actually lacerated some part of my jacket. Then look at it this way. You know, the Sahara is 45, 47 degrees hot.
Hot?
So, yes, imagine lying face down
For
on that
long.
sand.
No wonder you never used to be this dark.
That's what happened to me. That was what happened to me. I got badly burnt in the Sahara. But, you know, I couldn't stand up. It was painful, right? Every inch of that heat was painful, but I couldn't stand up because there was a bigger evil up there. The storm would take me off. And, you know, then, after I've done everything, you know, I've read a lot about, okay, if you have a sandstorm, how do you survive it? I've read a lot of people's experiences. So when that thing happened, my training just kicked in immediately. You know, that survival instinct. I just went that position. Now, the point again is you read about it, like after you've done everything you can to keep you safe, there are some other things, accidents still happen, still happens. Because imagine if the storm lifted a car and just happens to drop it where you're lying down. Or it lifted a big object and drop it on your head where I was lying down. I have tried my own way to do everything to keep me safe. But then I was just there praying that I hope the universe will cooperate with me, you know, and just get me through this alive. And I was in that position for an hour, 40 minutes.
Just do everything and the universe will play.
Yeah, so when the storm finally passed, you know, I got up. I was covered with sand everywhere. So I took out, you know, started dusting off the sand. Then I took out my helmet, and again, you know, like, if there's strong wind in the house, you know that force of that noise. So imagine out there like somebody taking a sledgehammer and banging your head for like you get disoriented.
Yes.
You know, so there's some level of disorientation. So because when I got up, I was struggling to actually stand. I was like, I stood up, I fell down again, you know, because of that disorientation. So after a while, that disorientation left. Took out the sand, then took out, my helmet, the air plug. Then I just saw that I was crying. You know, I saw tears
of joy
streaming down my eyes. I didn't know whether it was because of the pain, or the tears was because I didn't die.
You'll tell us.
But
You'll tell
it felt
us,
good.
You'll tell us the reason why you
Wow.
cried. Because
Okay.
now we have to take a break.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
I'll
Wow.
hold my own
Wow.
tears.
Wow.
I'll hold my own tears for now. We'll take a break and we'll be right back.
Okay, let's take a break.
So here we are today with John and Helen. And the excitement today is that we've been able to get Kunle Adeyanju, the Lionheart, who rode 13,000 kilometers over a period of 41 days across the Sahara Desert. Wow. And he's here with us in the studio. Kunle, just before we went on break, we asked you to hold on and tell us exactly that experience in the Sahara Desert where you took off your helmet and you found tears. What kind of tears? Was it from pain or from joy?
Honestly, if you ask me, I can't tell. But the one key thing I know, it felt good.
Okay.
You know, it felt good.
Releasing.
It was like, I felt like a release of tension, or I think it was probably because I was still standing alive, because really the way the storm was going, that 1 hour, 40 minutes seemed like maybe 10 days to me.
I can imagine.
And when I came out and I said, oh, I didn't die, something like that. I guess it was tears of joy.
Yeah, I remember when I went through the rain yesterday.
Oh my God, please go away.
I felt exactly.
Talking better talk than talking rain. What kind of rain? Okay, there are tons of people watching this show, probably a lot of young guys who would like to go on an adventure like you did and like you will continue to do. What advice would you give to them? In the course of telling us how prepared you are, you say you had read the experiences of people who had done stuff like this before, and so you were prepared. What would you be telling someone who is about to go on a journey, and identifying our passion and running with it against all odds? What would be your advice?
Well, you see, without missing my way, I'm just going to say to them, go for it. Because you will discover yourself.
Yeah.
All right? You will stretch yourself. You will learn a lot, and you'll be a better person. Because I was having a conversation with a group called Niger Bikers, about 300 of them on that, and they were asking me just the same question you asked. And I said, go for it. I said, but when you go for it, don't do 12,000 or 13,000 kilometers that I did. Go do 17,000 kilometers. Because we have to continuously raise the bar. That is how we can improve as a person and as people. Now, you see, when people go for this kind of adventure, yes, accidents do happen. Some people don't come back home. But most people still do come back home. But one thing I've realized is, in this part of the world that is lacking is people lack that tenacity, that diligence to put in detailed thought into the planning process. Even some little adventure, like riding even within Nigeria. I'll give you an example. I ride bicycle a lot. And I remember even some riding we were doing within Nigeria, and you see the guy leaving his house, and he's telling you, oh, I forgot maybe my pump. I forgot this. So preparation is key, but people lack that attitude of, putting in that due diligence before going in. Maybe because people tend to rush, like, I want to rush this. But when you do things like that, if, like the Sahara is unforgiving, it's not your friend. It's, the margin for error on the Sahara is so slim. You make one mistake, you may not come back home. I realized that. It was really, I read a lot of things about, like before going on something like that, because if anything happened to me on the Sahara, it's difficult to get any help.
Yeah.
Because sometimes for 600 kilometers, you don't have anything, you're on your own. So if anything happened, I had to learn to go and how to fix a bike. I did 2 weeks attachment with a mechanic, how to fix a bike, how to mend my tire. And funny enough, I was on the Sahara, I had flat tire. So imagine if I have not done that. And if I don't have all the tools.
How did you fuel up?
Okay, you see, it takes a lot of planning. There are few stations there, but one still needs to be careful about how you plan. Now, if you look at, I did a lot of work to get my bike sizing, like selection. There are 1,001 bikes, so I have to select the bike that gives me the right amount of power that I need. I can't be overpowered or I'm wasting resources. And I can't be underpowered. It won't take me through the Sahara. So, to go through that, all I need is efficiency. Okay. So I got a bike that can deliver that. Then the tank is 17 liters. It gives me a range of 500 kilometers. Then I got another 5 liters, which is like an emergency reserve. So when the two are filled up, I have 22 liters and a range of 625 kilometers. Now, I took that 625 kilometers, plug it on a map. Okay? So to make sure that from my starting point, before I exhaust that 625, it lands me in a town, a village, or a city somewhere where I can get those life support services. I can get water, fuel, food, probably hotel, all those things. So people ask me that, why did I follow through the coastline? And why didn't I go through Egypt? Libya and co. Going through the coastline added 4,000 kilometers to the distance. 4,000 kilos. So if I gone through Libya, it's shorter, 8,000 plus. Okay. But this one, almost 13,000, because it's going through the coastline. So people say, why did it take a longer route? The point is, after checking the map, going through from Libya, I can do 1,800 kilometers before I see any place to get those life support services. Okay. I don't have a bike. There's no bike that can give you that range. Okay. So if you go through there, it's just an accident waiting to happen. So all these are part of the planning process that took me, even the route selection, how I was able to navigate.
But you see, you didn't plan for the incidentals. Some of the incidentals. Let's even go back to when you crossed into Calais.
Okay.
Let's even leave out the Sahara. We've exhausted our discussion on the Sahara, probably. What were the other challenges that you had?
Well, if you look at, people think actually, your question is very good. People thought actually Europe doesn't have its own challenges, but it does have its own. Every area has its own unique challenges, because crossing in from Dover into Calais, I just went on the ferry, an hour, 30 minutes ferry across the English Channel. Okay. Now, into Calais, there were sub-zero temperatures. So it was terribly cold. Even with my thermal clothing and my thermal hand gloves, I almost had frostbite. Then look at the strong winds on the Spanish coastline. These are winds that almost knock you off the bike. Then again, because of some area where we had the sub-zero temperatures, ice forms on the road. It becomes black ice. It's terribly slippery. Terribly slippery. You make one move, you just go down. Even cars, you see cars just veered off.
But the African terrain would have been more friendly.
African terrain wasn't so, because it has its own challenges too. Coming into Africa, okay, let's leave the Sahara, because we've talked about the Sahara. But look at some part of the African terrain. I looked at the driving culture, some area the bad roads, then also another key one that oftentimes most people tend to forget is wild animals.
Yeah, I was thinking about the hostility.
You see a lion. I saw a lion.
The danger.
Monkeys were all over. Monkeys is okay, they can't hurt you that much, but they can cause accident. That's one thing is that part I didn't think about the monkey. I read a lot about, okay, how do lion attack? If you see a lion, what do you need to do?
As a lion heart.
Yeah, so so I had to go and study how a lion does. So, and I discovered that, okay, a lion is a side chaser. It doesn't come to you head on like that. It likes to run beside you, then outflank you. That's a lion. So, and at top speed, a lion can do that can outflank at top speed. So I just knew quite all right that if I see a lion, the worst thing to do is to turn back. Because the lion will do it so much faster than I can do it. Okay. So then I checked, what is the maximum speed of a lion? The maximum speed of a lion is 80 kilometers an hour. I said, okay, that's fine. So I have a strategy. My bike can do 200. So if I'm going to pass through this park, this game reserve, my lowest speed, the minimum speed must be higher than that of the maximum speed of a lion. So those parks where, like they'll tell you this park, lions are here, the park ranger, I speak to them, get information. Then those kind of places, no matter how sharp the bend is, I won't drop my speed below 120, 130. There are some bends that I will go ordinarily, maybe you go through with 70 kilometers an hour, but because of the lion, I'll hold on to 130. Some, you almost knock off, but it was tough. But, sometimes and the one I really didn't think about was the monkeys. Because, you look at monkey, when you're thinking about lion, hyena, and cheetah, monkey doesn't come into play.
Your friend, yeah.
But they are actually the ones that tend to be the most, dangerous to bikers. Because, the monkeys, what I discovered, they go in pack. They don't go in one. You see like 50. And the thing is, imagine you're going on 150. They'll just run in front of you. So, like you're 150, you go down hard on your brakes. You have to go like from 150 to 30 kilometers an hour in 3 seconds or in 5 seconds. Yeah. Sometimes the tail of the bike will lift up, the rear tire, lift up, then, bounces come back, with control. So that experience was really shaking.
I wish I was sitting at the back of the bike.
That's what I was asking. That would it have been better, maybe more exciting if you had company?
To go on your next thing.
If I had another biker, ride with me. Actually, people said I was crazy for doing it alone. They said if you want to do those kind of, even people who do rally, I met people who organize rally.
It's a team.
They say a rally for a bicycle is a team of 6. For a car, it's a team of 3.
Okay.
So how can you alone do that? But like I said, I went into this because I said to myself, I want to stretch myself. I want to stretch. Can this stretch me? I want to discover my breaking point, So basically, that was why I went into that.
So did you discover your breaking point?
I didn't break. That's what I discovered. And I discovered that human beings, we have no limit, The limit is what we place on our mind, Really, if we think this is the limit, like that's why they say a potential is inelastic. Once you achieve that potential, it raises the bar for you to do another thing. So basically, that's what I discovered, and that informed my next adventure also.
Because I was going to ask, Kunle,
so where are we going?
Will you do this again?
Where are we going to?
Will you do this again?
Yes, I will do. Not the same route.
Yeah. Okay.
Not the same route, but I'm still going to do something similar. I'm riding from Lagos to Israel. Then when I get to Israel, I'll proceed to Tibet. Then on getting to Tibet, I want to ride the Tibetan plain. That's the highest plateau in the world. And they say God lives in Tibet, because of the high level of purity you see in Tibet about everything. So I want to experience that. Then after that, I'll proceed to the Everest base camp, drop my bike, and try to climb Everest. So that's what I have for the next 2 years.
You're making it all sound...
it's normal now.
Easy peasy.
It's not like you do.
Tibet, you're talking about the Mount Everest.
Yes.
How many people have done the Mount Everest successfully?
Honestly, I can't.
And you're just saying, I'll do this, I'll climb this.
Well, I have it for the next 2 years. I have it in line for the next 2 years. So I'll be going through a series of very tough training programs, to prepare my health, because at that level, really what you need a strong heart, and again, why I'm trying to go through the Tibet and spend some time in Tibet before going is I want to do a lot of acclimatization. There the altitude is a lot higher. Nigeria is sea level. We have so rich oxygen here. But going on to the Tibetan plain, the oxygen concentration is much lower. Yeah. So if I stay there for quite a while, it helps acclimatization. Because the Tibetan plain is 16,000 feet above sea level. So you can imagine that already. So I'll do a lot of acclimatization, do a lot of training there also to get my body prepared. While I'm training here, then continue then before I go into Everest. It's actually, quite dangerous, quite tough, but I want to try.
Okay, I've read from a couple of people who say you can only say you have lived life when you've been able to give, to others, give back to society, when you've been able to impact positively. Your adventure this one is targeted towards polio, awareness creation, and all of that. How do you plan to do this? Because like you said, polio is still with us, and a lot of people are still ignorant about, the facts on polio.
Yeah, you see, if you look back at what I talked about, the one I did in 2008, 2009, which is climbing
AIDS,
Kunle. Yes, was actually, I tied it to raise funds for HIV/AIDS orphans. Now, doing this one now, I tied it to polio. The one for Everest, which I'm planning, the riding from Lagos to Israel to Tibet, then Everest, I'm going to tie it to another charitable cause. Which one, I've not decided now, but it's going to be tied to one. And it's true what you said, that when you give back, you know, it's like you see a lot of people, they work so hard, they do so hard in their careers, and they get to the peak of their career, and they feel that emptiness. Sure. And they ask themselves, is this all there is? You know, it's like spending all your time climbing the wrong mountain of your life, only to get to the peak and start asking yourself, so is this all this? And that emptiness. But that means there's no fulfillment.
Sure.
So what really helps people to fulfill as you do things, when you do things, and you tie it to giving back to the community. You know, if you see most people, Bill Gates, why is he spending all this money? If you see most of this, they want to give back. Because it helps to bring in that fulfillment. And just like you said, when you give back, you touch people. It's enriching. So I find it quite enriching, and that's why I do things like that. So I agree with what you said.
It's enriching, and you see, when you arrived this morning, I'm sure that if you had arrived at this same place, maybe this time last year, you know, the reception, people wanting to take pictures and all. The question is, having achieved this, you know, have you been able to get people to even come on board, give you more, support this cause in acknowledgement of what you've achieved?
The answer is yes.
How has the outcome been?
The answer is yes, because I'll give you, okay, let me just mention one particular example. On Monday, we went to my hometown. About 50 of the bikers in Lagos followed me down to my hometown to pay a courtesy call on the Kabiyesi, the Oba of my hometown, the traditional ruler. So we came back, we decided to stop by at a joint in Magodo just to sit and have a drink. And we got there, a lot of people came, started taking pictures. And a guy came to me and said, I'm so touched. I didn't know this guy from Adam. I'm so touched by what you've done. But this is what I'm going to do is I'll speak to my chairman and let's see what we can do. And he placed this call to his chairman there. I took pictures, sent it to his chairman. Then he placed a call to the chairman. And there we were talking. And the chairman said, okay, we'd like to support End Polio. And the chairman said, we'll be giving you 2 million naira to support this cause. So people, even after completing the ride, people haven't seen this delivered, are still inspired and are still giving more into it. So that's why we still left it open, because the virus is still here, the fight is still ongoing, so there's no point to close it. It's still open and people are still giving and supporting.
Okay. So there's some kind of fulfillment there.
Yes, there is.
Yeah. You know what? I want to turn my attention to the eagle.
Okay.
What do you mean by this?
The eagle is the bike.
Oh, okay.
The bike itself. Tell us. Because you had to make a choice.
That should be your best
without
friend.
Without naming brands and all
That's true.
That should be your best
you
friend.
You had to make a choice.
Wow.
How did you prepare Eagle for this journey?
So, yeah, you see, actually, okay, I named my bike the Eagle, you know, because on the ride, we went through a lot together. You know, it was like my closest companion. It was Eagle alone I got to talk to most of the time. And, you know, I discovered that machines, they have soul. You know, we talk.
Don't go there.
I'm serious. We talk. It talks back to me. I hear Ego talk to me. When I'm in challenges, when I'm in crisis, I talk to Ego, and you tell me, okay, don't worry, I got your back. Let's do it. So, in bike selection, okay, I had to choose that particular model, that particular bike, because, you know, I did a ranking template during the time I was doing the planning. Like going through the Sahara, what I really need is efficiency. I don't need excess power. If I take excess power, I'm carrying the power that I don't need. Then if I take a bike that's under power, like I said, it won't take me through the Sahara. Yeah. Then also, looking at the fuel endurance, which I already explained, but I'll move on to other parties like the weight. You know, because I know I was going to be riding on Sahara sand, on the desert sand. There are some places where there are no road. So you have to go on the sand.
On the sand.
Now, if falling is part of riding. If you ask any biker, they'll tell you that. So it's just that when you fall, you need to know how to fall professionally so that you don't go against the gravity. Just yield yourself to gravity and, you know, you get back up. But when you go against gravity, you could break a bone.
Injure yourself.
Wow.
You know. So I know if you ride on the sand, the probability of going down, dropping your bike, that's falling. The probability of dropping the bike is high. So, and I said, okay, if I go, okay, my bike weighs 190 kilos. There's another make of a particular bike that weighs 269 kilos. If I happens to drop the bike on the Sahara, and, you know, 269 kilos is lying on my leg, because if the bike falls, you know, your leg is, my leg is under. If 269 kilos is lying on my leg, how can I lift 269 with me sitting down to remove my leg? So it's going to be a problem. And, you know, that could spell death because nobody is there.
Yeah.
So I have to choose a bike that has a weight that I can manage. Eagle is 190 kilos. So if I drop Eagle, it's easier to cope with 190 kilos than to cope with 269, 70 kilos extra, you know.
Yeah.
So those are all part of what went into the bike selection. The range is key. The weight also is key. Then also I need a bike that can move from sub-zero temperatures. You know, not like you're staying there for 3 days or 1 week, but just straight into 50 degrees Sahara. So I need a bike that won't disappoint. So all those things went into my ranking matrix. And this particular model came tops. So when it came tops, then I ordered the bike. Then that's why I chose the bike for the ride.
Wow. And the bike is ever so grateful for that.
The bike is as popular as you are.
Yeah, I was there when you rode in to Lagos,
Yes.
you know, when we received you at the Rotary Center.
Yeah.
And I could feel that the bike was happy.
It was.
Yeah.
You were communicating with the world, with everybody on this trip.
Correct.
And that's how come when you got to any point, you had people, you know, waiting to welcome you.
Yes.
And I listened to one of your interview and you talked about how friendly Africans are as you rode in from one, you know. Talk to me about that just in a minute. We're almost running out of time.
You see, like they asked me, people say, what is my one most important takeout from this? And I said it's the discovery of the true African people. I didn't know the story. It was like that. But I did 9,000 kilos plus in Africa, 3,100 from London to the boundary of Europe. That's Algeciras and Spain. And that 9,000 kilometers took me through all the major part of North Africa and West Africa. I discovered that African people are hospitable people. They are nice people. They are warm. They are friendly. And the land is full of diversity. So this wasn't what I read. What I read about all this, because I did a lot of reading about all the countries. What I read was the country, they are red zone, you know, red, don't go there, danger, you could die. Or amber, exercise caution, don't go there except you have to. You know, all those negative thing was what I read. But I tell you, this was the same continent where I had the best reception, the best protection, and the best support on this adventure.
Wow.
Awesome.
And that's good. That's a huge testimonial.
Yes.
That's it.
For us as Africans.
It is.
And Kunle Adeyanju, you know, we could keep you here all day.
Unbelievable.
You know,
unbelievable.
It's like we've been on this for just like 5 minutes. But believe it or not, the show has to, we have to close it.
We have other segments on the show, yes.
You know, unbelievable feats. Yes. You know, we hope that your efforts towards changing the narrative, you know, with regards to polio does pay off. That's one thing. And again, we really must thank you for taking time out, you know, to be with us on Today with John and Helen on PlusTvAfrica.
Okay.
I don't know what else.
Like I said before, please remember to take us when you're considering a team. But there's a lot of work, so we're ready to go. All right, but thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
I have had a ball, you know, having this conversation with you. And we can only wish you the very best.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. This is still Today with John and Helen on PlusTvAfrica. We have other segments. Next, we would make way for the Keep Fit coach. And after that, don't forget that Pharaoh is already in the house. Please let's join the Keep Fit coach in the gym.